Wagwan Bati Boy.
Bati boy. It's
Welcome to
crazy.
this week's Price Discovery, where we'll round up the weekly to-dos and we'll forecast as to see what's going on in the current week. I'm your host, Billy Yenz. We're joined by our senior correspondent, BlueBenjiFrenzy.
What's going?
Let's dive in. So yeah, what a week, right? Let's just start that off. A lot of insecurity in the market. Nothing new for a Trump administration, but we saw some pullback weakness on semiconductors after that push with AMD, and I saw them finding support. So,
Is it right?
nah, it's right up
Okay,
here.
man.
Yeah. So let's show y'all what I see here. So basically, this is Dell on the daily. Saw Dell pull down, touch this 149 zone, and then push back up. I did actually get into a call right here after this candle, and we saw this push all the way to 158. I was in the 155 call. And then, as you can see, this 155 call was in profit for a while. And then I saw it pull back to 151. And I said, hey, based on what I'm seeing, we'll probably get another touch on this zone here, which we did essentially. This candle here, essentially this second touch. I could also see this possibly making another even third touch on another candle here. Just, the price stock essentially rolling against this 148 line here. But I do expect this to make a double, even a triple bottom, and then push back up to the upside. Um, so I'm currently still in these calls expiring in the middle of November. They were in profit. The premium on those calls went from 950 when I jumped in to about 13. And then they went down to about 8 of some change, which is when I bought. And as you can see, they did retrace a little bit more after that. But still got a lot of expiration on that one, so I'm expecting that to recover back to the upside.
Yeah. Hopefully you get some consolidation here on this support at 148, 149.
Yeah.
And then you get that next push up. I can definitely see it. Let's draw the fib on this and see some fib levels.
Yeah, let's put the fib levels on here. And again, this is on the daily chart, so it's just something to keep in mind. So according to these fib levels, we might be able to even drop down even lower than that. But based on this zone right here, this might be it.
Hopefully it stays there.
Yeah, hopefully it stays right here at this zone. Like if I was to delete the line that I drew and we're just looking at fibs, I'd probably want to redraw the fib because there's clearly a zone here, but the fib isn't respecting that. So this may be the incorrectly drawn fib. You know what I'm saying? What would it look like if the fib maybe looked more like this per se when I didn't use the top of the candle, the candle wick, but just the candle body? Now you can see this price a little differently. And you can see how it kind of interacts below this zone and then above this zone. Let's see what it looks like on the H4. Yeah, I mean, that's really bearish. I'm not going to cap.
Double top, yeah, lower high.
Yeah. Lower low.
Double top is respecting that 382.
Oh, you count this as a double top?
Just like from there, because like technically that was the top. It pushed down from there, and then once again it pushed up, retested that same price level, and then went down again. Or you count this as a double bottom too if you get another push.
Right, and I've seen that before. They call those the twin sisters, where it's a double top and then a double bottom. But whichever is most recent is the push.
Yeah.
So
man, that's a good point though about the fibs. I mean, fibs, everybody kind of draws them a bit differently. Typically, I go from just high point or low to high or high point to low. But, some people like to draw from the body to body, wick to wick,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, me personally, like I said, I go just low to high. So, that's including the wick and the body. But
yeah,
here I
because even if I move this up here, then it looks real different. Now you can see a lot of differentiation in that, respecting this line right here.
And that's the point about the fibs. It's like, depending on how you draw them, you might come to different conclusions. You know what I mean? But overall, I mean, I think it still has confluence with what we said earlier about our support zone at that 148. So,
even when we look at some of these other semiconductor names, they're kind of consolidating after a push. But, this is a 1-2, technically a triple top on an H4. So this could be pushing to the downside, or this could just be testing resistance over and over. And this could have been essentially, if you look real deep on this SMH chart, this was a double test, the rejection, and now if you were to draw this line, this is technically a look above and fail. Look above and fail. So if we get above this line again, I would really try to wait to get above the zone overall, because this is technically a big zone.
Yeah.
Or a strong zone, excuse me. But I'd love to be above this zone, get the pullback, and then jump in.
Definitely. I mean, I agree with that. I think just coming from this, like you said, you made the double top. You got this huge down move. It's about a $20 move, $25 move. And then from here, though, I can see a mini uptrend getting created. But yeah, just like you said, I wouldn't play calls until you get a close above.
Until you get the look above and fail above that 346.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, I mean, especially with semiconductors, we're expecting, or I'm expecting, some volatility there just because of everything that's going on in China.
Yeah.
Even though this is a great, semiconductors are definitely going to have demand, and
right.
And they're going to fuel and power the the AI wave and everything. I still think they're getting a lot of these companies have their factories and have a lot of production capabilities coming from China. So
yeah, China or Taiwan, even TSM, they're trying to build a new facility that's supposed to be done in 2027 in Arizona. But even when it gets up and running, how long is it going to take for it to be fully operational? And will it be able to replace the need and the demand that's being fulfilled currently by the Taiwan already established, market type shit? You know what I mean? Just showing you guys NVIDIA, right? We're getting, again, this look above and fail. We got the look above and fail here. We could technically really get another look above and fail down back to 160, or 169, 170, and then make that double bottom to continue pushing. That's the truth. I know I thought it was going to keep going here back in the middle of August. I thought this was going to go run to 200. But we got the look above and fail. We might get a look above and fail here, back to the zone, then come look above and fail above this 199. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm staying away from it. NVIDIA from an options perspective, I don't really see too many opportunities. I'm trying to also be pickier about my plays, right? When we're seeing and we're looking for opportunities in the market, I don't want to be forcing it. I don't want to. It looks like a bull flag. It's kind of like a bull flag, because I'm gonna be honest. The plays that always hit and the plays that I wish I would have put more on. There's no doubt about it. It's not like, oh, it kind of looks like this. It kind of looks like that. It's a bull flag, right? It's a clear breakout, right? And you're seeing it on time frame continuity. So it's on the higher time frames. We're getting the, we're getting the confluence there that we needed.
On that NVIDIA play, yeah, I like that analysis. I say I'm actually currently in puts, and my reasoning for that is
I could see a head and shoulders right there.
So yeah, I mean, you can see we're definitely on an uptrend, right? So even starting from here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This higher low was broken right here. So basically, what I'm playing is
it was really broken with the bearish engulfing candle.
Exactly right there. You broke that low, or technically you kind of kept it, right? Because that low, this wick right here is kind of hard to see. But
yeah, it's a wick.
So yeah, so this technique could have been a double bottom, but then the following 2 days we pushed lower, and then we got 3 consecutive red candles.
And that red candle was last Friday too. If you guys remember, we had that nasty drop last Friday when he announced triple tariffs on everybody. So it's always important to understand. We tell you guys this all the time, right? Understand what's going on in the market so that you can use that accordingly. So yeah, I mean, we see that big candle, we see how that kind of breaks structure. We can tell, like, by that point, hey, what are we looking for?
And then even from there, right? It's like you got this level drawn. We got the retest of it, and it gave you a doji. And then Friday we still pushed up, so I'm negative right now. But once again, we didn't close above this zone. So
yeah, I do see that going down.
Yeah, so unless we touch 185, I'm staying in the straight.
What's your strike price on those puts?
I'm pretty sure it's probably 180. I believe. I think I'm at 180 puts.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could see that on the gap That's the thing about like when the market gaps on open or close or on open, it could go in your direction and then gap the opposite way.
Yeah, bro.
Like even with that DELL call, like not to bring this back up, but like it went in my direction.
Like in the morning, probably.
In the morning,
Like gapped up in the
yeah,
morning.
it gapped up in the morning, and it was actually green in the morning. It was green for a while, but you know what is this candle telling us on the daily? That means that this is a bearish candle, which means it opened up here. The price went up here and then closed here, opened up here, huge gap, and then it went up all the way to 158, and then came all the way back down, past the open again, all the way to damn near 149, and then close at 151 for then the following candle to be even lower, right? And this is technically another gap because it closed here and then it opened here.
Yeah,
that's still a gap.
Yeah, I think they'd be calling them a fair value gap. Some people call them, and that I gotta do my diligence on looking that up. But that's one thing I've been seeing more and learning more about. That those gaps usually have to fill essentially. Don't quote me on that, but I'm still learning.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also another reason why I'm still confident on this play to move to the upside, because all this is saying is that people still actually did expect this to go up. And what happened was that it went up and then they all took profit. And so it's not disrespecting the overall trend, which is this uptrend that we've got here, but it did have that move, right? And then again, when we look even deeper, right? And I'm not trying to overly convince myself, but I'm just looking at what's in front of me. Look above, fail, consolidation. I'm expecting some sort of bull flag. And honestly, I'm also expecting that on the lower time frames, I may get even another pullback below this line again. Below this 155 dash line that I've got here. So we might get the look above, come down and fail, and then for a bull flag. But here's the key of this entire thing. All of this I still expect to happen within this next week. My expiration is for November 11th or November 21st.
Yeah.
So even if this play doesn't play out by next week, I still have more time on this contract. All the way till I can't even bring it up on the chart. And that's the difference, right? When you understand, hey, like when you're understanding how to move these contracts, imply volatility, all of these things, even SMR, right? We played SMR pretty well last week as well. We had 50, I think I had a 50 or a 53, and I just got out too early. Or I didn't get out early, but I got out at the right time. I'll say that.
I was about to say,
because
we got out a perfect time, I think, because it ended up. I think we caught this candle. What's that? What day was that? Wednesday.
This was Wednesday.
I'm pretty sure I closed on Wednesday.
We caught this candle to the upside. I think I had a 50 call, and it went up to 56. And the next day, it gapped. Yeah, it opened up damn near 57, went up to 58 damn near, and then tanked back to 47. And now it's tanking to 43. But look where it's respecting. It's respecting its previous support, right? So we had to look above and fail, look above and fail, look above and fail. So what's next? You know what I'm saying? I do expect us to perhaps ride this line, consolidate on this line. And I'm actually not in this right now. But because of this strong push to the upside, and when we look historically, like, hey, has this been here before? The answer...
Go to the weekly.
Oh, yeah, thanks. The answer is yes, but this is the first time that we're looking above and failing on that line. Right, and let's even pull up the monthly chart just so we can see this a little bit clearer sooner. If we'll ever even be able to see it at all. Oh, yeah, here it is.
So technically all-time highs.
This is technically all-time highs, but look, the month is not over. Right? So when I say the month is not over and we're looking at this on a monthly chart, what are we looking at here? Let's move this line down to where it was previously. This was the all-time high. Looked above and failed. This candle is not done forming and we still looked above. So even if you were to get a candle for this is October. If you were to get a contract for November, a bullish call, I could see that happening. I could see that happening long term, and I could see that happening and inciting essentially like a strong rally. because this look above and fail was down here at damn near 14 to 21. We looked above and failed and went from 14 to 50. And then we held above 30, which is above 25, which is the halfway point, which would be down here. And we haven't even seen 25s.
Right, but even I mean, I agree. I think to piggyback off that, it's like monthly we see what do we see uptrend since 2024, right? So higher, low, higher, low, higher, high. We already made the higher low. So the anticipation for October, November, December, these next upcoming months is that we're going to make a higher high.
Right.
Now, when is that going to happen?
Technically, on the lower charts, we've made that higher high, and now we have to confirm it on the higher charts. But
exactly,
it's been created.
It's been
last
created,
week,
right? We touched it, but then we got a wick off it. So from that perspective, what does wick tell you? Wick tell you price doesn't like being up here. So I wouldn't be, but that doesn't mean, right? Just because price, the weekly gave you a wick, we still, we have confluence on that monthly, right? Which is from a monthly outlook, higher time frame outlook, we are expecting to make a higher high, which means we're bullish, right? So when we drill down to these lower time frames, all we're doing is looking for opportunities to get in on the call, right? Make money off the call. Now we did, we did make money off this wick. We was pushing up. We hopped out at, 50, we was in $50 calls. We hopped out at like 53 or whatever. Yeah. So we made money off that, but we do see we ended up making a wick. So what does that tell me? I think that tells me that price isn't quite ready to make that, that big push up. Now, with that being said, we can also use that as opportunities to think of like, how do I get the best entry, right? Because we still expect it to go up. We're assuming it's probably gonna, either consolidate right here, maybe come down here, you know what I mean, for a couple of days or whatever. So from a daily, day trading or swing trading outlook, we can look for opportunities to get in around this support at 42.
Right.
If it starts giving us dojis, indecision, we'll, that's when we load up. That's when we pull that trigger. Or if it pulls down, we're still not, oh my God, so scared. We're just going to play it to say, okay, I'm still just waiting on my entry for calls.
Right. And I want to point this out too. The way we were playing this call, we were actually in pretty early and we got that push up to 50. But look at this, right? This is the fair value gap we're talking about. We got the gap here and we know that gaps want to fill. Because essentially people are either taking profit, which is going to send the price back to where it was at, or people have like automatic trades that go in at a certain price threshold, right? A lot of institutional traders. And that's why we want to work on understanding what's going on the broader market. How are institutional traders looking at these prices? How is manipulation coming into consideration when we're looking at charts? Because it's not the first time where we'll look at a chart and it looks like it's supposed to do exactly what it's supposed to. And remember, everyone's looking at the same chart. Everyone's looking at the same level. So the people who do have the ability to manipulate the market, they're going to hit your stop loss. And we talk about this all the time. If they see that, hey, like people typically put stop loss 20% below XYZ and they have a gajillion amount of shares, they'll sell their share. They'll sell their shares so that the price drops, hits all your stop losses. Now it's more money regulating within that market and buy back in with the calls that they've got. But, nevertheless, we see this gap that we created on the push up get filled. So all we expect now is the same situation. We might get some consolidation here, but once we move past this gap, we're going back to likely
all-time highs.
This 50, exactly, all-time highs. And if anything, exactly. And so with this one, like I really, really have been watching leaps for next June. Just because where would you want to park your money, right? And the truth is, what I've learned a lot too is like it's great to be able to analyze and find those great plays, but like we said earlier, a great play is still a great play. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather take one great play than 5 mediocre plays.
Right.
Because that's only one time that I had to risk my bread.
Right.
And so
you have way more confidence when
you have more confidence in a good trade. And so this right here, I see this as a strong setup. I see this as a good trade.
This is a great trade. I think my opinion on that, I actually agree. I think, like you said, leaps, just talking about leaps, right? Leaps are good. I don't think this is not a part of the S&P 500, is it?
I think this is on the NASDAQ.
Okay, it's on NASDAQ.
This is on the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay. So it's not on SPY or.
I don't think it's on SPY.
Okay, cool. So I mean, yeah, from the chart perspective, it definitely looks good for leaps. My only concern there would be like overall market sentiment. I mean, how do you feel? You know, because right now, you know, if we pull up that fear and greed index, I think on Thursday we were at extreme fear. And you know, not to say that means that's a direct indicator that the market's gonna drop, but I think, you know, people are just because of, you know, talking about being an average American, right? I think the average American is tucking their money right now.
Yeah.
Right. You see the fear. We're at 27. We were at extreme fear a week ago or a day ago. Sorry, previous close we were at extreme fear. So what does that tell you? It just means that I think majority of people are taking less risk. Right. They're risk averse right now because of all these tariffs, because of the political landscape, the wars, everything going on with the economy, taxes, everything, right? So due to that, it's like I'm not saying don't take leaps, but you just kind of have to keep that in mind. Like,
100%.
what do I expect the market to do in the next year?
100%.
You know what I mean? And I think I personally think, even though we have fear right now, I think this is a setup. Most people are fearful, but smart people are out putting their money in places that make sense.
Right.
So I think the market is going to bounce back and continue to reach all-time highs this time next year, right? But just take into that consideration, you know what I mean?
I agree. And that's kind of overly making my point as well, because when we talk about what's going on in the market and we look deeper on the fundamental analysis of SMR, this is essentially a energy company that's going to focus on nuclear energy for the data centers, right? And so then when you think about what is going on, right, we've got Trump and tariffs because of rare earth minerals, right? We've got energy crises in that area, right? If we've got energy crisis, so because we can't produce the things that we need, like, who's gonna come save us, right? SMR is one of the only.
It's a U.S. company.
Yeah, it's a U.S. company, and I believe they're the only company that is like registered or something. Let's put they have. Oh, you know what? I think it was right here during one of these newses where it was like New Scale versus one of these other energy companies. What's the difference? And so when we dig here, it's the only company approved by the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, right? And so if you don't know anything about that, or you just started trading like 2 years ago, if you saw how Coinbase rallied when they got approved by the SEC, that was a huge thing for the crypto industry, the regulatory industry, because essentially there's new stuff that's going on, and then there's the old guard that has to figure out, hey, how does this fit into our current framework, right? And so that's what's going on with crypto. Crypto is a new way to deal with money and currency and value, how to translate that into the digital world so that we can, use the access that we have of, like, the technology to make sure that we're having like decent, clean, and technologically advanced transactions. Like, imagine your boss was still paying you in spence, you know what I'm saying, in pounds, you know what I'm saying. What if you still had to go up to the lady at the desk and she had to weigh it up depending on how many hours you clocked in on a punch? You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. So that's what crypto is. But I say all that to say, clearly right here, as mentioned, they're the only company that's approved to be the supplier of nuclear energy for these uh for these data centers, right? And so you guys can continue to read into this and see what's the situation here and how they do carbon-based freeloading and all this other stuff. But long story short, it's the same situation with the Mag 7, right? Would you prefer to put your money into a stock that is the runner-up, or would you prefer to put your stock into the one that everyone has their money in, right? Or the leader, right? Do you want the second banana? And so here, where I see SMR specifically, as things continue to become more turbulent, right? What's going to be the answer to all of this? It's going to be bringing the resources and the solutions back to U.S. soil, right? And when it comes to energy and nuclear, which is the cleanest energy to burn, like, SMR is definitely ahead. Now, of course, you need the power sources for those types of
What is SMR? Not SMR. I mean yeah, like
nuclear.
I was just so it's the only basically it's the
It's the
only
only one that's right. That's like confirmed
to
to do things
nuclear.
for us. Yeah.
Okay, got
And
you.
there's still like, of course, the same way with the AI companies, right? There's tons of AI companies out there, but which ones are one regulated and two, which ones are approved to even be providing services for people, right? Like everybody has to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even as we continue to go through the situations with energy and power, I think SMR is going to be one of the beneficiaries from that. Even if we still have issues with like finding the uranium to actually power this stuff, when they do find the uranium, where is it going to go? So again, this is why I see SMR as a very strong leap. I do want to get into leaps at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I may wait for the breakout, right? Because that's the best time to get into anything when you're getting the proper full time frame continuity breakout, get into a leap, and then it takes off to 99. I could see that happening for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the leaps would be cheaper if you get in for a lower price. I mean, overall, I think
And look,
even just
bro,
for
it's even
shares,
bouncing. It's even bouncing
mm,
off the 50 on the daily, bro.
yeah, even for shares, I think this is a great because you got a stock
Yeah.
under $50 that
hmm
has great outlook.
It's not going to be under $50 for long. We just played the $50 call.
Right.
And so that's why I think right now, because I was looking at the $50 call in June for this push, but it's only making it cheaper and more cost efficient for me. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's look at two more, maybe ones that
Let's go into some crypto, man. Let's talk about the crypto world. We haven't really been focusing on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's
bring the
been
other one up,
which one?
the other Bitcoin chart, the one that's Bitstamp. Yeah.
It's cool. So let's just look what crypto is doing. Obviously, Bitcoin is the you know leader of the
Mm-hmm.
leader of the pack. Um, so overall, what do we see? Right, we definitely see uptrend.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I zoom out a little more, right, you see uptrend from way down from 16K, right? Higher high, higher low. So we're definitely an uptrend. We're currently at a higher high, and what I see is we're getting a ton of weeks at the top. Price has
Mm-hmm.
been trying to push past 125, but we just haven't been able to do it. All right, we tapped it, but every time we've tapped it, we dropped dramatically. Which, you know, two things on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shows the potential outlook because why do we keep testing 125? That means 125 is going to be a key
Level
price level, right?
of
So
resistance.
let's draw that line actually. So I would consider this a zone. The way I would draw this is one at the body and one at the something like that, right? I'll put it directly at 125 as best as I can. So this becomes my resistance zone pretty much. Like I know if price gets here, we're probably going to reject it, right? Until proven otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But just from what's been happening in the past 4 months, that's exactly what happened. Anytime we've been in this zone, we've rejected off it, right? So you can use that to play, to play puts. Also, what I do see is that, like I said, we're at a higher high, so and we're bouncing off, right? So I expect to make a higher low. That higher low could be the most probable place would be somewhere around this previous higher high, or so
Mm-hmm.
about at about probably 100 going
Probably
up
drag
to
that red line down there.
yeah. uh, I could drag this one to about
Right.
somewhere there,
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So hopefully we'll start, because I am definitely bullish on Bitcoin. Hopefully we'll start to consolidate here and get a push up, but that's the likely scenario. But don't be surprised if we
I
come
could see us
down.
consolidating for the next 3 months and waiting for this that brown line right there, which is that 20. I
Mm-hmm.
could see us just consolidating and waiting for that 20 to get closer, and then we'll push off that 20, and then it'll end up just looking like a bull flag just
Mm-hmm.
because we'll consolidate so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's gonna take too long per se, because this 20 is at 88, and it just needs to close this gap. Last time we were at 88 was damn near when?
Last year.
Maybe in the middle of April, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all I see us is just consolidating within this zone, waiting for this to catch up, and then another push to 140, and then we'll probably make a head and shoulders at 140.
Yeah.
I see us making a head and shoulders at 140, and then holding this line again.
Yeah, but
Pushing back
overall,
up.
we're definitely still bullish on Bitcoin. But yeah, I'm expecting either some retracement or some consolidation around 100K.
Even right now, look at what's going on with the MAs. We can see we're getting that push down. We're getting the 20 and the 50 crossing over the 100. 200s right here. So I see us pushing down here. I don't really see us going all the way down here, but if we did, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because look at what the chart is giving us, right? I'm overly bullish on Bitcoin, and I can still see us going to 81. All I see that for us is a buying opportunity.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Another good one, actually, that I've been doing a lot of research on recently is Link. Link is basically, it's similar to, I wouldn't say similar, but it's in the same, what do you call it, bucket, or like as far as like what it's used for as like XRP. So it's meant to like, for payments and things like that, digital payments essentially. But long story short, I mean, let's just look at this chart. It's a beautiful chart, right? What do we see? Since we bottomed out 2022, right? 2023, we were just bottoming out. And ever since then, we've been making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This, I would say we're looking to make a higher high, right? If not, though, this would be technically be considered a double top if we wanted to count that as a double top right here. All right, we touched this price twice, bounced off it. So as long as we don't make as long as we keep this higher low, I think we're good. So as long as we don't go below 13, I think we're good. But overall, they also just why I'm interested in this in the first place. They're actually a part of basically a conglomerate. Vanguard has started like their, ETFs are
crypto ETFs
are a big thing now, and Vanguard actually just issued their own ETF that has XRP, Link. They have their own Vanguard coin that you really can't buy anywhere except Vanguard. And then it's like two more coins in there. I can't remember.
Cardano or something.
I don't think it was Cardano though. It was like some names I didn't even recognize.
Solana or something.
Yeah. So I don't think I recognize any of the names. Solana might have been in there though. Okay. But don't quote me on that. But long story short, it's just like you'll see ETFs are a big thing now because it's giving people that don't really maybe want to take all the risk of putting money in a coin, or don't even understand the world of cryptocurrency. Yeah,
maybe they don't want to download the apps and stuff. They just want to use the apps they already got.
Right. So people, especially maybe older people who aren't so familiar with what's going on in the cryptocurrency world,
who are definitely holding the majority of the the wealth here. So I mean, you can see the play, right? Let's invest your money for you. That's always been the play. But as where we're investing the money changes, and the people who have the money are being more and more complacent, right? Because they've had the money for a while, so they can build a lifestyle like that. That's the play. You know what? We're gonna charge y'all a little more. You won't even feel it. You know why? Because we know it's in your pockets already. And so, me personally, like, a beautiful thing is that the internet still works, so you can go and find the information on what you need to do. But some people, they don't have to do that, right? Because they pay somebody to do it for them. And so that's why these ETFs, these crypto ETFs, are profiting, which is like anti-crypto type shit. Because the whole point of crypto is for you to be self-sufficient. But some people don't want to be self-sufficient, right? Like,
or they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand because it's all speculative anyway.
Yeah.
So people,
but it's hardly speculative now. I mean, we got laws going out, all different types of shit. So
but it's still people still only know what they know. Right. So you can see these things happening, which is more proof, or should hopefully give you more confidence that hey, there's been there's governments buying these cryptocurrencies. There's governments using as a strategic reserve, right? Using these coins. So there's laws being passed. There's ETFs giving people more access to these coins that we have real assets that are being tokenized on these platforms, right?
The tokenization conversation is really interesting because let's say let's say like there's like a building that's getting built, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when these commercial buildings get built, like they need financing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so just like companies need financing. That's why they go to the stock exchange, because they're saying, hey, we'll sell you a piece of our company for some money, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
what a share is. A share, you're getting a share of the company.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of commodities that don't have that flexibility. So let's say there's a commercial residence, like a commercial house, right? Or let's say like there's a new mall that opens up, right? And you know everybody's going to go to that mall because everybody in the city has been needing a mall. But if you didn't get in 24 months ago when Bernie and Earl were making the deal in the back rooms, you weren't going to get into the development. You know what I'm saying? You weren't going to make any money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the tokenization, what's going to happen is you can have, they're going to be platforms where you can purchase a fraction of a building, right? Or a fraction of the ownership of that building. And as that building continues to accrue value, your share of that, whatever commodity, is going to continue to accrue value as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and even thinking about, go ahead. Sorry, you done?
No, yeah, that was just a recap.
Yeah. And even we're seeing, staying on this tune of tokenization, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing now, like, when I say real, as like I said, real estate, we talk about buildings, but even like thinking about more stuff that, gold.
Mm-hmm.
They're working on tokenizing gold. What does that really mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that just shows the confidence, or the that really shows outlook of where we're going, right? Because gold is, real estate. Gold, just stay on gold, right? Gold is a real thing, a tangible thing that you can have, right? But they're working on tokenizing it, and then pretty much instead of you actually transacting with your gold, you would you could have the opportunity to transact with the tokenized / digital version of your gold, right? So I think that just shows like this whole world, whether you are a strong believer in it or not, you can see we're moving to, more digital,
Everything is going
less.
digitally.
Yeah, you feel me? There's less, cash is becoming, less
Yeah.
used, right? Everything is, you tap on your phone, your card is tap to pay. Everything is more digital, less tangible. Is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's less hand to hand, palm over fist transactions.
Yeah.
So we're finding new, innovative, creative, faster ways to transact. It's pretty much, and that's the whole thing about. And I'm not saying buy any, do your research on these. Not every coin has utility.
Right.
Not every coin has a use case.
Right.
Especially
with crypto. Crypto is still very early, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, just to like kind of, bring the point home of the tokenization, it's like everything is going to be for sale, but you won't own a thing. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that, even let's go back to the gold scenario, you're going to have X amount of dollars in your gold ETF or your gold, you know what I'm saying?
The gold coin.
Tokenization gold, but that shit is just a picture on your phone. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
it's really crazy because that's what we do with our money. We just don't, we don't put two and two together at the time, but that's really what we're doing.
We're essentially reverse engineering how we ended up getting here anyways, right? So it's like
Exactly.
the digital technologies that we have right now for our money, right? Digital banking, etc. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tap to pay, check to phone, all of that. That all came from the world of a physical, like, monetary system. But we're not living in that world anymore. So this is basically the look above and fail of the technology used in currency, right? So we looked above, right? We're getting all these super cool things, right? I can deposit my check by taking a picture. I can, you know what I'm saying, get money out the bank whenever. I can go to any bank. I don't have to go to my family's bank or whatever the case is. But like, we've hit an impasse, right? The technology that we've overly innovated for doesn't work as much as it could or used to, right? We're not satisfied with it anymore. It takes 3 to 5 business days for some money to settle. I needed that money 3 days ago.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like with crypto, you'll have a chance to, again, just take advantage of some of the things that we're already taking advantage of in different technologies that aren't being implemented in our money. Yeah.
think that's good, man.
Yeah, man. This has been a great episode. Tune in next week for price discovery, where we'll go over how the market is developed. Right, we'll test some of the theories that we've been looking at for this week, and we'll look at the week ahead. Right, we'll tell you what to look for, what to stay away from, and what to watch out for. I'm your host, Billy Yenz. This is our senior news correspondent, BlueBenjiFrenzy. And this has been Price Discovery. Welcome to today's mathematics. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, have a blessed one, man.